Good afternoon, Clive.
Afternoon, Graham. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Here we are. Here we are once again.
We are. Yes. Following our Wagga 5 with Clive. So we've moved on to other matters, and I think we're going to have a discussion around CDS, I believe, today.
Yeah. So that's why I was just going to open the conversation up there. But yeah, the Customs Declaration Service obviously moved from Chief to CDS. It'd be good to get an update about what's happening with that, and maybe a bit of guidance around extensions as well.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, CDS is replacing Chief. And that has been, on the roadmap for some time now, many years actually. So that happened, or what happened? Has it happened? It's a really good question, really, because we'll talk about what should have happened, and then we'll talk about what has happened. So we've had a deadline for some time, and that's the 1st of October, effectively, at which point, end of September, the traders, from an import perspective, so anybody declaring import declarations to Chief, frontier declarations, had to have migrated to CDS, the new Customs Declaration Service, as from the 1st of October. And that was the plan, that had been the plan for a while. That remains HMRC's stance, although, late kind of, or during September, actually, HMRC made it aware or created the ability for traders to seek extension to that deadline. So they had the ability to request a 30-day extension to that date. Okay, so effectively, if you weren't ready, and there were, and you could say why you were not ready. You had to say why you were not ready. Whether that's because your software provider, your frontier software provider wasn't ready, its software wasn't ready, or you hadn't been trained on that application at the time of the 1st of October. That was the basis on which you could seek extension. Now, I know many traders did, and we work obviously very closely with the likes of Descartes Systems Limited, who are very close to CDS. So we get great insight into in terms of where they are in terms of that migration plan. So many traders did request that extension to the 31st of October. So effectively, that 1st of October moved to the 1st of November. We're now sat here now, 11th of November, on the afternoon of the 11th of November. And I am aware, again, talking with members, and particularly the likes of Descartes, that not everybody is migrated on the 1st of November. So further extensions were required, possibly and probably up until no later than the end of November. Now, HMRC are playing hardball on those applications and denying traders further extensions. But you do have the ability to challenge and appeal that decision if you are not ready. But that appeal must be comprehensive in terms of why you cannot migrate at this given time. And secondly, you need to have a clear plan on when you are and how you are going to migrate. So, if we have members in that scenario, then they need to reach out to the chief, or I think it's called, the chief extensions email address, or reapply for the extension through the government gateway using their AORI number. But what you will need to do is give a very detailed, comprehensive reason of why you need to be continuing to make declarations through Chief for the balance of November. Okay. And I think my recommendation is, obviously, from a member's perspective, stay really close to your software provider Now we know they are talking with HMRC constantly about how their customers and traders are migrating, some of which have, some of which haven't yet. But it's to stay really close to your software provider and use their support to secure an extension should you require it. Obviously, the best and easiest way is to make that leap and that migration from Chief to CDS. But you will only be able to do so if you have a software that can submit those frontier declarations to CDS. Now, I know, talking with Descartes, again, I think this is really useful, is to, the frontier aspect seems to be the least of the issue. So if you're making frontier declarations, then that seems to be okay and pretty straightforward. Where there's been a hiccup and a delay, and it is releases through customs warehousing. So what were supplementary declarations warehouse out of Chief are becoming customs declarations warehouse out of CDS. I think, talking to Descartes, they did have some issues with their software in terms of, particularly around aggregation. So when those CDWs were going in, they were not aggregating removals. So effectively, every removal line had a CDW being created, whereas aggregations allows you to consolidate those declarations to submit far less number of CDWs. So, potentially you could be incurring greater cost because a lot of the software providers' pricing matrix work on how many SDWs, or in this case CDWs, you generate and submit. So I think there was some concession, obviously, that the likes of Descartes were offering because of this issue, but that was the nub of the issue. And they did go to HMRC and say, look, we need to resolve this matter before we allow our customers to migrate. So I know they provided a list to HMRC of their customers who were on that, and therefore who were maybe not able to migrate. So that was supportive in traders making a further extension request to HMRC. So I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of where we are on CDS. The guidance still stands. Look, if you can migrate, then do so. If you're ready to do so. If you're not, then obviously engage with your software provider, who can then be a support to you gaining a further extension. I think reality is, we're not going to get extensions beyond the end of November. So, starting now on the 11th, you really got to be you've got to be progressing your migration plan. Yeah. And what I would call a cutover plan, needs to be ready to go. I do know traders are still yet to complete their training on the solution. So what I do know is that the likes of Descartes are happy that their software now does what they want it to do. It's now about getting the trader in a position where they can migrate. And that could be about, training may have been delayed. The cutover plan implementation would have been delayed. So it's those two items really that need to be addressed, and urgently. Yeah.
Okay. So time is ticking. So definitely worth
time is of the essence. Absolutely, Graham. And if there is anybody out there listening, then reach out to you via either our website or your email address, and then we can provide some support and guidance, Absolutely. In a more detailed fashion if required. But obviously, if you're not in a position to comfortably make that leap, then you've got to be talking, and you must talk to your software provider and engage with HMRC. Yeah, they're going to play hardball on this because they want everybody over. But if you can, if you're not in that position to make those declarations, then you need that extension.
Okay. Thank you, Clive. As Clive said, if you do have questions, then please reach out to us. Contact secretary@thebwa.com, or have a look at the website www.thebwa.com. Get in touch, and we'll be happy to help.
Yes, we will. Well, I'm definitely helping any way we can, and certainly, pointing in the right direction, as it were, and be able to provide the latest kind of comms coming from HMRC around the matter.
Okay. Thank you, Clive. I think you got that in about 10 minutes rather than 5, but
apologies, but I think there's some elements that are really important to just kind of take time to explain. It is a complicated matter, you know, but I think it's beneficial to take a little bit more time just to explain. So apologies for the overrun, Graham.
That's okay. You've got lots to say. All right. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. All right. You
Okay.
take care.
All the best.
Yeah. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.